right, y'all, I had to re-record this Love and Marriage Huntsville review because the internets was being rather rude in my live when I did it, and it was all chopped and screwed, and I ain't trying to get y'all product like that. So we gonna re-record this thing. So let's do it like so, like this. Okay. So the episode begins with everybody coming to Mel's new office. She's got pictures of herself all the way around there so you can know it's her office. So the comeback group is coming back together to talk about God knows what, and that's that on that. So Marceau shows up first, and they talk about, you know, Wanda being disrespectful to Mel's mother and how Mel didn't really like that and all this, that, and the third. And Marceau was basically like on Mel's side. But then Mel brings up in her confessional, she's like, well, you was the main one talking about my mama had some sex tape last year. So, but whatever, I ain't going to talk about that. So Marceau and her sit down. Then everybody starts to come in. And finally, once everybody, when Martell is in attendance as well. So Martell comes, and unbeknownst to everybody else, the kids are in the back office, in Mel's office. So the conversation goes on, and Kimmy is like, you know, what are we going to do with the comeback group? Are we going to dissolve it? We know, Mel, you really don't want to have no parts of it, or whatever the case may be. We know that it was dissolved in some cases with Holting Holt because of you guys separating your businesses and you know, whatever. But what are we going to do with the comeback group? What's going on, and what is it going to take for us to finish dissolving this thing? So Mel is just basically like, listen, I'm pulling out of I've been pulled out of the comeback group since 2019. So it is what it is. And Marceau said, well, you can pull out and still have a baby. And I'm like, oh God. So Mel says, speaking of babies, she looks at Martell and she's like, where are the kids? And he says, oh, they in your office. And she's like, Mel just blows up on him and says, first of all, don't be coming in here, bringing my kids in here and having them in the office and and not telling me that my kids is here because I'm going to go speak to them. And I'm like, girl, if you don't get all the spring out of your neck about nothing, like, okay, it's his time with the kids. He's doing what he has to do. He has to bring the kids to a business meeting. It don't matter how I make him look. Y'all all supposed to be friends and family anyway. So what are you saying? Like, okay, go speak to your kids and come back and shut the hell up. I love you, Mel, but this was a little bit extra. Like, I was just like, really? Is she really using all this energy over that? Whatever. So then they go back into talking about, she goes and she speaks to the kids and she says, hey, you know, how y'all doing? And, you know, she hugs and hugs everybody, kisses everybody, and says she's going to come back when the meeting is over and, you know, say goodbye to them. So she goes back in the office, and then while she was gone, they were saying, you know, basically asking, so what do y'all really want to do? And Martell was like, you know, I still want to be a part of the comeback group in any way that I can. I think that what we're doing here is a great thing, and I really want to still be a part of it. So Mel barges back in the room, and she's like, oh, okay, so we talking about dissolving the comeback group? What's next? Like, I'm like, okay, girl, you too excited to be negative. Like, just come on. So then, I forgot if Marceau said something or Kimmy or somebody, but she was just like, you know, I'm done with the comeback group and I've been done since blah, 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 blah. And I'm moving on to this and that and the third or whatever. And then Martell says, yeah, neglecting the kids. I was like, oh my gosh. Because before that, she was talking about how, you know, she just really didn't want to be a part of it or whatever the case may be. And then her and Martell bickering back and forth about God knows what. And she started it. And then Martell, to go below the belt, says to her, yeah, and more stuff for you to neglect the kids. Which I'm like, Martell, listen, both of y'all are good parents. Nobody can deny that, okay? So stop trying to make her look bad as a mother. She doesn't say that you're a bad dad. So why do you have to keep trying to hit below the belt saying that girl is a bad mother? You're trying to make everybody think she cheated on you, which if she did, people will probably cheer her ass on at this point. You had a whole 5-year relationship, sir. Get it together. And your clothes look 5 years old. So you might need to go back to the beginning of that relationship and bring your clothes to the present. That's what you need to do. Because you walking around tight-wadded, tight attitude, tight clothes. You just real tight these days. You need to release the tension. Okay? I don't understand what's going on with you. So Martell gets an attitude and storms out and goes and gets the kids. And he, rallies the troops and leaves. So Marceau says, we have to find a way to have better meetings. Like, this is just, it's just becoming too much. And I get it, because I wouldn't even want to be in no damn meetings with them either, because that's just a lot. Every time we come together, y'all motherfuckers always arguing. Like, damn, get it together. So then Mel is like, I don't even understand why y'all want to do business with him. Like, he's shown that he's not reliable and he is just a liar. And it don't even have nothing to do with him having a baby and cheating on me. It's just his integrity. He don't have no integrity. And so Marceau was like, it's easy for you to say all of that because you're winning. You wouldn't be saying any of this if you weren't winning right now. Because Mel was like, well, why am I not having no issues, or whatever the case may be. And so I get it. Martell is struggling. He's going through a midlife crisis at this point. He done lost his wife, lost his main way of life. But I still don't feel sorry for your ass, okay? You create, at the end all be all of all of this, he created it. However, Mel, you do not have to put salt on a damn wound, okay? And that's all I'm going to say on that. So Martell calls Mel on the phone and he says, can you come outside and talk to Mariah? She's crying. So she goes outside. Martell pulls back up. Mariah, their oldest daughter, is in fact in the front seat crying. Mel gets her out of the car, and in Martell's confessional, he says, mommy's, that his daughter was upset because when they came in the office, she was like, this used to be you and mommy's office, and now it's just mommy's office. And, it just makes her makes her sad, because this is more of a reason why they're not together. Which I don't really believe that, because the kids are always at the office, and it's not like this is something new that Mel is now the owner of this office. I think that's how Martell really felt about the whole situation with the offices, not the kids. I think the kids can sense that they were arguing, because when Mel went in the room, she said that she was going to come back and speak to them. And also, them walls ain't but so daggone thick. I'm sure they heard them yelling at each other, and the kids want them to get back together. So hearing them yelling and screaming at each other and arguing, and then Martell coming in there angry and storming out with the kids, that further gives them more connotation that their parents are not going to get back together. And that's saddening. And she's the oldest, and she's not stupid. That little girl is very smart. She knows what's going on, and that probably made her sad. And so, Martell, you sad about your own selfish shit. Your face ain't up. Your picture ain't up in there no more, because you did what it took to take your face off of the moniker. Okay? And that's that on that. So anyway, Marceau, and so everybody comes outside. Marceau, Maurice, Kimmy, and Letitia, they all come outside. And I never agree with Marceau, but he was right on point with this one. So he said, man, what is going on? Why are you, he said to Martell, he came over to Martell to the car, and he was like, why do you keep on, every time we have a situation, you got to get down in the gutter and do all of this stuff. He's like, you need to learn how to internalize that stuff and let it go. Like, basically saying, why does he always have to go back and forth with Mel every single time? Like, it's really getting old. And he said, man, I'm not going to let her keep disrespecting me. When she goes below the belt, I'm going to hit her where it hurts too, basically. And Marceau's like, how's that working out for you? He's like, you're going to be doing the same thing at 50 and 60 years old. And guess what? It's all about them in there, talking about the kids. Basically, like, your kids are seeing what you're doing, and it's very disrespectful, and it's not in your benefit. It's not to your benefit. That's always going to be their mother. And you constantly disrespecting their mother all the time, basically. So I agree with Marceau. He was just basically like, you need to stop it. You'll be explaining the same story to your kids when you're 50 and 60, and to your kids when they get old, okay? So just stop. So moving right along to the next scene, we see Marceau and Maurice play tennis together and discuss the comeback meeting. And Marceau is just pretty much like, until Martell can get his situation together and get his whole attitude together, I'm not trying to work with him, because he proved to Marceau that he can't control his emotions, and he's not trying to be around somebody like that that's not in control in business meetings, because that's very unprofessional. It really, really is. And so Marceau was like, until he get his shit together, I ain't trying to be doing no business with him. And Marceau, actually, that's coming from a person that said that Marcel is a good business person. So now, as another good business person, you ain't trying to work with him because he's not looking responsible to the public. And also, you trying to use people's business license and you're not acting very businesslike. You're very unprofessional and very ghetto, and nobody got time for that. Nobody has time to be going playing tit for tat all the freaking time. Like, no. So anyway, they talk about that, and then Maurice talks about going to Dr. Francis, and he was like, Dr. Francis really is a good doctor, and you should have came. Like, he really helped me to see how I'm treating work and my business life as another relationship, and that's like a second wife, and how I'm actually utilizing that without even noticing it, pitting my work and Kimmy up against each other. It's not her being jealous of my work. It's me putting work against her and making her like that. And Maurice was like, are you sure it's just that you just have a lot on your plate or whatever? Like, he's making excuses, like basically like what Dr. Francis is saying just can't make any sense or whatever, because he know every fucking thing and don't know shit. Just like he been playing tennis and running and doing all this shit, and he still got them damn man boobs. He may need to figure out a plastic surgeon. That's maybe what he need to do. But anyway, moving right along, Maurice decides that he's going to make a balance between work so that he can create more time for him and Kimmy, because at the end of the day, Kimmy is what's most important to him, and that's really who he wants to spend his time with, and he frankly doesn't want to lose his wife. Marceau, on the other hand, is more concerned with being right and just doing whatever the hell he wants to do and doing anything that has nothing to do with whatever Tisha wants him to do. Because honestly, I feel like Marceau made up the whole depression thing, and I continue to maintain that as my opinion, because I feel like he just wants to get away with doing whatever he wants, and he doesn't want to listen to anybody. He thinks his way is the only way, and the only way that everybody gonna comply to, and he don't want to hear what nobody else have to say, because he gonna do what he want to do. And I hope that works out for him, because one day Tisha going to realize all the tools that she has in her toolbox, and he ain't putting the right screws together to make it all work. So she going to end up leaving his ass, and he ain't going to know what to do, because you think the grass is greener on the other side, but them titties is still drooping and nobody wants you, and that's that on that. So moving right along, Marceau maintains that he doesn't want to go to therapy, and it is what it is. Can't nobody make him. So in the next scene, we see Kimmy, Letitia, and Mel meet to hang out and have drinks at the office. Which, this is so contrived, because if they gonna have drinks, why they ain't go to a restaurant somewhere? But I guess this is something they used to do back in the day, just all of them working, so they just want to hang out and have a drink wherever the hell they can. So they start off with asking Mel, like, Dag, why you had to go like that in the office? Like, what happened? And why is it that every time we together, y'all always arguing? Letitia asked Mel this. And then Mel basically is just like, I'm just not going to let Martell disrespect me. And you're not going to come in here with my kids and not tell me that my kids are here and I want to speak to them or whatever. Which I maintain that was just very much extra and giving doing too much. And that's all I'm going to say on that. And she just basically says that Martell's always pushing her buttons and throwing jabs. And she says, she just doesn't want to be around him anymore. So Kimmy is like, how do we handle situations like that? Like, how do we, as your friends that are in the moment with you, deal with that stuff? Because, as their friends, they don't want to get in the middle, but they want to be supportive. So I'm pretty sure that they're probably confused as to how they can even do that and not feel like they're being nosy and butting in. So Mel says don't have them in the same room together anymore, because Martell is immature and he needs to grow up, and they just don't need to be around each other anymore. And Kimmy is like, well, so don't invite you to anything? And she was like, nope, don't invite me if you got Martell coming. I'm good. I don't need to be there. So then Mel says, well, what about y'all two? Last time we met up, y'all was talking about some text message, child. And, were you just mad because you was on the text message with me and Destiny? Like, what was really going on? So Kimmy explains that she always contributes to Tisha's event, so she didn't understand why Tisha was so upset over and not understanding of why Kimmy was upset. So I think what it all boils down to from the conversation that went on, Kimmy is saying that she always contributes to Tisha's event, so she's not sure why she was upset. And Tisha, I think because Tisha saw that Kimmy only volunteered. She volunteered in person to do the water station, but she hadn't contribute monetarily yet. And Kimmy didn't know that Maurice hadn't written a physical check yet, but they did volunteer for the event. So I think Kimmy was basically saying that Tisha was trying to embarrass her and call her out in the text message, or bring her attention to the fact that they hadn't given up any money and that her time was just not enough. She needed to go ahead and write a check. Then they go back and forth about who writes a check when and all this, that, and the third. Child, who gives a damn? Write the damn check and move on. If you don't want to write the check, don't write the check. Like, both of y'all look real childish and silly right now. And Kimmy, you usually more mature than this. And it comes out to the fact that I guess Maurice hadn't written the check yet and Kimmy didn't know. But I guess in the next episode, we're going to find out if the damn check ever gotten written or whatever the case may be. But ain't none of y'all starving over damn money. So, I mean, the check is going to be written and cashed, okay? And that's that on that. So they get over it. Tisha says, you know, she looks up to Kimmy, woo woo woo, until the next time she gets Kimmy get on her damn nerves or don't do exactly what she want her to do, and then she's gonna be talking shit about her again or sending another goddamn text message. Child, please. Anyway, in the next scene, Martell meets with Fred Macklin, his business partner, the person that got the damn business license that he freeloading off of. Yeah, so they on the damn project doing work, and Martell got on this ugly ass bucket hat, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So they're talking, and Fred is like, you know, how's the studying going? Like, what do you know, how's it going? And Martell's like, yeah, you know, man, I'm just not the type to study, and it's just so hard. You know, the kids was over, and just making all these excuses as to why he is not going to get that license, because clearly Martell wants that. He's been so used to leaning on Mel for everything that now he just gonna find a new person to leech on to. That's all it is. He don't want to do anything for himself, and for him to have all this knowledge on what to do to better himself and not utilize it, he is the detriment of his own life. He himself is creating his own downfall. So anyway, Fred is like, no, man. You know, Martell's like, I've been reading the books and all that. That lets you know he lying, because Fred said, no, man, it's actually a software. So Martell, you was fucking lying, talking about it's some books. Of course you're going to say books, because everything come in a book. So Fred busts his damn bubble and was like, no, you got to get the software. I'm going to give you the software. And he's like, man, you know, basically just making excuses. So as he's still making excuses and pussyfooting around, Mel FaceTimes him or calls him or whatever, and she's like, you know, where are you? I need to come and speak to you because I need to talk to you or whatever. And I don't know how she knew where the hell he was that damn quick, but like Debo on damn Friday, she rolls up in the damn Range Rover. So she's like, you know, we need to discuss boundaries, because, you know, what are you doing coming to Bruce Street or wherever? I don't understand. I couldn't hear exactly where she said that she was at. But apparently Martell came while she was on a date with somebody and was like recording her and taking pictures. And he was like, you need to do better anyway. Like telling Mel she needs to do better. And she's like, well, why are you worrying about what I'm doing? I'm not your woman. We are not together. And then he's like, yeah, we're not together, but you can't be taking him to our favorite restaurant. Nigga, we are not together no more. I don't care if our favorite restaurant was McDonald's. I'm gonna take him to the drive-thru, the sit down in the dining area, or whatever. Who the fuck are you? We are not together anymore. You will not. I'm sure you took Ariane, or let me not say her damn name, Coleslaw, every damn place, everywhere. Okay, and you didn't give a damn about it being my favorite place, the kids' favorite place, nobody's place. It was all about you and your favorite things to do, which was cheat and do you and be all about yourself. So please, let's make it very clear. What you will not do is stalk me in my next life of happiness, okay? So you continue to be miserable in your foolishness and sit in your dumbness, okay? Because it ain't rocking over here. And that's that on that. So apparently this fool taking pictures of her, and he's supposed to be he was in a meeting, supposed to be in a meeting. Mel says, wasn't this man somebody flying in from LA to meet with you to talk about a business opportunity? So apparently this psycho rushes through the meeting so that he can go and see what Mel is doing. And then he makes the point of saying that he doesn't want Mel. I'm like, okay, you don't want Mel. You don't want to marry her again. But you are leaving big time meetings, which you don't have any money. You're broke. But you're leaving meetings that are going to give you business opportunities to make money for your children, which you want to take full custody of from her. But you're not being responsible by going to meetings and doing what you're supposed to do to make income. And you're leaving to go and check up on your ex-wife that you don't want. That's funny and stupid. So he's saying he don't want to be with Mel. The only reason he would want to be with Mel is because of the kids. Well, you see your kids now. So that's not a valid excuse. That doesn't make any sense, Martell. You're an idiot. Stop stalking Mel and get over it. Because here's the thing. You running up on her talking about you gonna be my wife again and all this, that, and the third. It takes two to tango. She has maintained that she does not want you. And you can't force this woman to be with you. So you need to move on and sit and sulk in silence. That's what you need to do. And you need to be productive in the present. That's what you need to do. Get over Mel. She does not want you anymore. You have fooled around on this woman. You have fool-la-la'd on her for too daggone long. And that's that. A woman can take but for so much. Anybody. So get yourself together, Martell, because I'm about sick of you and your too tight clothes and your bucket hats and your foolishness and all this. I'm sick of it. And I don't want to see y'all arguing no damn more. Carlos King, let's do better. I'm sick of them. The Holts need to halt on the bullshit. All right? So thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for sitting through this review again. I'm so sorry about the botched review from the beginning. I was on live and my internet child was not my friend that day. But thank you guys for sitting through this. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your girl is on the way to 1,000 subscribers. I need that in my life. So come on now, help us out, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.